Hello and welcome to week 5 of English 111, summer 2020. I am your instructor, Professor Morgan, and let's just go ahead and get to it. Alright, so last week we introduced the argument paper, because who doesn't want to write one of those? Fun times. So this week we're going to introduce the final paper that we're going to be writing, which is Compare Contrast 2, which is kind of a combination of the Compare Contrast 1 paper that you wrote and an argument paper, and we'll talk about that in just a second. Alright, so what do you got going on this week? Well, you started working on your argument paper last week, and you have to post your first draft to the discussion board by Friday. So again, we'll go to the discussion board. Boom. And if you scroll down, woo, there it is. Argument paper peer review. Okay. And then just like we've done before, you post it by Friday and you respond to 2 people by Sunday. That's the goal. Okay. And so again, post your first draft of the argument paper by Friday. Review the other students via the discussion board by Sunday. And then the other thing you have to do this week is you're going to post your topic for Compare Contrast 2 for Portfolio 9. So let's talk about Compare Contrast Paper 2, shall we? Yes, we shall. Okay. So this is an assigned paper by the school. They came up with this, and so the idea here is that we're going to use Compare Contrast, but the difference is you're going to be really looking at, instead of arguing, okay, let's say if for your argument paper your topic was gun control and that you argued that there should be stricter gun laws. Okay, well that's an argument paper. You're picking one side of something and saying this is right. For a compare contrast paper, we're picking between 2 things and we're trying to figure out generally which one is better. Well, for the first compare contrast paper that you wrote, you got to choose the reasons why. Okay, you can say, well, hey, between this and this, here is, this is better. It's better to go to the beach than the mountains for vacation because, you can swim, you can hang out on the beach, it's warmer, whatever. These are just kind of nebulous things that you guys just came up with. But for the compare contrast 2 paper, you have to provide it with research. Okay, so using the same like procon.org and ways that you looked before, you can pick a topic, and it has to be different from the topic that you did for the argument paper, but you have to back up anything that you're going to provide as evidence with sources. Okay, so if you were going to say, okay, let's again use gun control as an example. So instead of just saying, the argument paper would say that limiting, sales of guns is the best way to do things. Well, compare contrast would be, okay, what is the difference between limiting the control of guns versus, opening up more gun laws? Which is better, okay? Or for example, let's say marijuana. Let's say recreational use of marijuana. Which is better, to keep it illegal or to have it be legal where people can buy it and use it, okay? What are the reasons why one is better than the other? And you can do research on that to back it up. So that's kind of the concept of the Compare Contrast 2 essay. You're doing the Compare Contrast approach, but you're using research like we did for the research paper, which is the argument paper. That makes sense? Okay. So that's the final thing for this. So for Portfolio 9, you're just going to talk about what your topic is for Compare Contrast 2 and include what you're writing about and why. And again, minimum 300 words. And let me just spend a second here because I've had some students complain, wow, 300 words, man, you keep everything 300 words. Well, here's the thing, folks. I'm actually doing this as a favor to you because for English 111, you are required to write a certain amount, okay? I build in a lot of that word count and a lot of that writing into the portfolios. If I didn't do that, then instead of 2 to 5 page papers, you'd be looking at 7 to 9 page papers. So you tell me, which would you rather do? Write a few portfolios that are 300 words or write 7 to 9 page papers as opposed to 2 to 5 page papers? Which would you like? Yeah, most students, yeah, whatever. Okay. So, but for this last one, your last paper needs to be at least 4 pages long, and you need to have at least 3 sources. Okay. So that is it for week number 5. And all right, have fun writing.